Today, in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, 23rd verse.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñāya charata karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñāya charata karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñāya charata karma samagram praviliyate.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñāya acharata karma samakram praviliyate. Duties that are performed as an act of adoration by the one in whom attachment has ceased, who is relaxed and whose reasoning faculty is settled in consciousness, completely dissolve, bear no binding result. 3 technical terms you need to understand in this verse. Gata sangasya muktasya, unattached to the modes of material nature, means, see that material nature is to drive you with the fear or greed. It is very nature of the matter you are carrying, not just the matter of nature which is driving you. Because you are carrying the body, you can be driven only by fear and greed. It is not just the driver's mistake, it is a vehicle's mistake also. The vehicle, your body itself is a matter. Just 2 days before I was discussing with some of our ashramites about these administration rules. That time I was sharing an important insight which I wanted to share with all of you. Now, by the nature of the bio-memory, human beings need to be feeling certain level of fear and greed. If you don't even provide that much of material for them to be afraid of something and to be greedy of something, they will feel so empty inside. They will create unnecessary phobias. Height of fear. Suddenly something will happen. The unnecessary, reasonless, causeless phobias settle in your system if enough fear and greed is not supplied to your basic biomemory. By your nature, just because you are carrying a human body which is programmed with fear and greed, certain amount of fear and greed is required even to drive you. That becomes survival necessity. The administration is supposed to take care. You don't create the fear and greed in everybody the same level. No. There are some people, a little bit of fear and greed is enough. They will be full, they will run, start driving. There are some people, maybe more fear and greed is required for them to run. Some people who need more fear and greed, if you give them less fear and greed, they are in danger. Now they will start creating unnecessary phobias. Please understand. Many of your unnecessary phobias are created when you try to protect yourself from the basic amount of fear and greed which is required to run your life. I have seen many people. They try to protect themselves from the basic fear and greed which is needed to run their life without purifying their biomemory. If you purify your biomemory by actions, karma, and evolve, then move out of fear and greed, nothing wrong. You will be liberated. But without making your biomemory mature, if you try to move out of fear and greed, I can give you this one example. People who leave everything and go for Parivrajaka, Yatra, Agori lifestyle, Nagas. Without maturing your biomemory, if you leave everything and go, the small phobias, phobia of cockroach, phobia of scorpion, phobia of snake, small fears will take over your inner space. You will develop unnecessary phobias. I have seen there was a sadhu who had phobia about rivers. See, if you go near a river and have a fear that suddenly some flood may come, I will be flooded, that is okay. He will not even go on a bridge, well-built bridge where buses and trains can go. No. Forget about going on a bridge. He will not even see the river from the distance. How many phobias are there? God. When I read the list, I got the phobia of phobias. Phobias are pseudo-fear, perverted fear, like how pornography is perverted lust. Phobias are perverted fears. Never pornography lust can be transformed because it is perverted. It is impossible to transform it. Nor the phobias can be cleared because it is perverted. Impossible to clear. Almost.
Akashic readings. Does life exist on other planets? What is the truth of the Bermuda Triangle mystery? Can I find out about my past lives? The hallways of Kala Chakra hide many answers. Get answers to all these questions and more directly from the source, the Cosmic Archives. Cosmic Archives are the mystical records of all the events, words, thoughts, and actions that have ever happened in the cosmos. The time shaft can be rewound and fast-forwarded for answers that only a living incarnation can access. Now, for the first time, a living avatar who is the embodiment of the cosmos itself opens himself in a language that we can understand. Akashic readings, downloaded from the Cosmic Archives by Nithyananda. Ask and you shall be answered. Email ensharing@nithyananda.org or call 918027279999 to get your questions answered live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time on Nithyananda TV starting April 21st, 2012. Visit ntv.nithyananda.org.
Of course, only working on your non-mechanical parts of the brain and the inner space, you can be free of this. By the mode of the material nature, you are driven by fear and greed. Mature your biomemory, then liberate yourself from the fear and greed. Before maturing your biomemory, if you try to escape from fear and greed, you will create unnecessary phobias. I have seen many sadhus. They try to escape from fear and greed, give up all their wealth, property, life, run away, but they have not matured their biomemory. by building a yogic body and Vedic mind. When they go there, I see very clearly they are caught in the greed of polishing their kamandalu, fear of losing the 2 feet by 2 feet place where they sit and beg. I have seen sadhus literally beating each other, fighting with each other with their stick just for the place where they stand and beg. And when I investigated into their life, they have left crores worth of property in their hometowns, came out and became sadhus. It's true. It is not that they are born beggars. They left everything. One sadhu I remember very clearly, who had a huge property in Haryana, who was a farmer. Suddenly he got vairagya and left everything and went away. He was staying in Rishikesh. Maybe after 5-6 years, all his vairagya went down, his inspiration is gone, but his ego, he doesn't want to go back to his house and reclaim his property. So he is sitting there itself. His bio-memory is not matured, but he has given up the fear and greed. What happens? I saw him fighting for the place, small 2 feet by 2 feet, on the banks of Ganges, where they sit and beg. That's a prime spot. Understand, when your bio-memory is not matured, this happens. Many times, even in the West I have seen, when people come to me for phobias, to get healed of phobias, all I do is I give them some real fear, straightforward fear. Immediately they come out of phobias. Phobia is perverted fears which happens in you when your biomemory is not matured enough to handle the fearless, greedless zone, but you are forcing yourself into fearless, greedless zone. I always tell people, make your biomemory matured by building the yogic body and Vedic mind. Then go for the parivrajaka. Go for yatra. Before that, if you do, you will only be caught in unnecessary phobias, not in fearless zone. First technical term you need to understand in this verse is gatasangasya muktasya. The very mode of the material nature, fear and greed, be liberated from that. Means let your bio-memory be matured. Maturing your bio-memory can be done only by 2 ways. One, again and again and again and again, reading the spiritual truths, even if it is same. For 10 years, I read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna every night. Never felt bored of the spiritual truths. Sometimes the spiritual truths create guilt in you because you feel you are reading but you are not practicing or you are failing. Then you stop reading. No. Whether it creates dissatisfaction in me, greed in me, or fear in me, I am not going to stop. Again and again and again, without feeling boredom, tiredness, guilt, listening to the spiritual truths, internalizing the spiritual truths. Now I am making a new playlist in the YouTube.
The Sacred Secrets of Southeast Asia, revealed by a living incarnation. Travel to Southeast Asia with Paramahamsa Nithyananda between May 9th, 2012 to May 25th, 2012. Buried deep in the heart of Southeast Asia are the treasures of millennia-old spirituality that time could not destroy. In the powerful presence of the Master, these spaces come alive and reveal their sacred secrets. Paramahamsa Nithyananda launches you on an exciting journey of outer and inner discovery. Visit the world's largest Hindu and Buddhist temples built by the ancestors of Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Don't miss this opportunity to accompany him as he goes to Angkor Wat, Cambodia, Bali, Indonesia, Besakhi Temple, Bangkok, Thailand, Ulundanu, Tanalot Temple, Puraluhur Temple, Puratirtha Temple, Taman Ayun Temple, Malaysia, Batu Caves. Travel to Southeast Asia. Contact Rishi Nirantarananda 6012-224-2755 6014-6455-981. Email tree.nirantara@nithyananda.org.
Now I am making a new playlist in the YouTube. The title Guaranteed Solutions. I'm going to give you 1008 guaranteed solutions for different problems. So you have any problem, just type guaranteed solutions and the problem's name. You have it. Again and again and again, without boredom, tiredness, guilt, fear, suffering, discontentment. Because when you read the spiritual truths again and again, all this is possible. When I tell something to people second time, third time, they tell, you break my self-confidence by constantly telling this. I tell them, okay, whether you feel guilt or discontentment, your self-confidence is breaking, suffering, go on listening to these great truths and go on internalizing it. It is not that always when I read Ramakrishna's Gospel, I was feeling very pleasant and happy to read further. Many times I felt, oh, I am not executing these words. I have to live these words. There was millions of struggle. Sometimes I won't even feel like reading the next page. I'll feel, let me complete this. Let me master this one truth. Then I'll go to the next. All kinds of mood swing. All kinds of thinking. All kinds of discontentment. All kinds of dissatisfaction. All types of guilt. I have seen everything. Of course, on a different scale. The scale in which you see is very different. The scale in which I see is different. It's like yesterday I described. When I give you one word, drop TV and internet, and if you are struggling with that one word and having the guilt, that is different level. And you are struggling to drop the insight visualization and having the guilt, that is different level. Understand? Those experiences were there and went on drilling the biomemory with these raw spiritual truths. Only when you listen, hear from an enlightened being, you get the raw spiritual truths from the great speakers, scholars, pundits, orators, trained priests. You will get very sophisticated, polished, politically polite, socially polite. Spiritual truth almost lost all the juice of the truth. Those words, spiritual truths which has almost lost the truth, cannot transform you. Listen to the raw spiritual truths. When you internalize them again and again and again and work heavily on your body through the Hatha Yoga, Kriya, Pranayama, Yoga, weightlifting, with all this, Akada, only then your biomemory gets liberated from the modes of the material nature. Gatasangasya muktasya. From the modes of the material nature you get liberated. The second technical term Bhagavan is explaining here. Jnanavastita chetasaha, established in the spirit of knowledge. This is very important thing. Liberating yourself from the modes of the material nature is one part. The second important part, establishing in knowledge of spiritual center. Establishing yourself in spiritual knowledge. Jnana avastita chetasaha means able to handle every problem you face in your life from your spiritual center. Able to solve all the problems of your life with spiritual solutions. Jnana avastita chetasaha.
Welcome to Inner Awakening, the most powerful personal transformation retreat you could ever experience. In just 21 days, thousands are already experiencing the shortest route to constantly high energy levels, visible anti-aging, healing of chronic diseases, fulfilling relationships, and higher states of consciousness. What is the secret behind this transformation?
Kundalini means the inner potential energy. Once it is awakened, opens the different doors for the conscious experience in you. I can say which is a master key for all extraordinary spiritual experiences.
This extraordinary program is conducted personally by Paramahamsa Nithyananda in the vibrant atmosphere of Nithyananda Dhyanapitham Ashram. Open yourself to the benefits of Nitya Yoga and practical meditation. Experience physical and mental healing. Discover simple ways to handle life with success. Above all, enjoy individual darshan and blessings from Paramahamsa Nithyananda every day. Take 21 days for yourself and carry home the transformation of a lifetime.
That is why when disciples sometime, when they come to me with some problem, first 1 or 2 times I tell them, I try to give them solution. If they come again and again, I tell them, all right, you suffer with it, what can be done? Because till you establish yourself in that jnanavastita, me solving is not going to help. You will come up with some other problem. When you start solving only, you will take the responsibility of not creating problems. Then, you are too busy in solving, you will not at least create more and more. Jnanavastita chetasaha. That is why sometimes when you bring the problems to me, I give you a little more problem. Only then, you are forced to find solution by yourself. You will be established in the spiritual knowledge. Third point, Bhagavan describes in this verse, Yajnaya acharata karmaha, practice the duty which is practiced for adoration, for the devotion as sacrifice. The duty which is practiced as adoration. I can give you one more sacred secret from this line. Even your mental patterns can be offered as a garland to the divine. Your mental patterns are actually hanging on your consciousness. Now it is hanging like a toned cloths on the divine. Even out of torn clothes, you can make a beautiful garland and offer it to the divine. Say, this is what I have and I am really interested in getting out of this. You please have this and liberate me. Even your patterns can be offered as the adoration to the divine. Bhagavan beautifully explains, anybody who lives with these three qualities, samagram praviliyate, means he melts totally into the ultimate. He is liberated completely. These three qualities, liberating yourself from the modes of material nature and established in the spiritual knowledge, performing the acts as adoration, you melt into the ultimate. Again and again and again, listen to the spiritual truths and internalize them. Do not bother about the guilt, discontentment, dissatisfaction, agitation which may happen in you when you listen to the spiritual truths again and again and try to live them and fail. In the struggle, whatever you go through, don't worry about that, but go on listening and try to internalize. Second, go on building your new biomemory by working on your body through kriyas. Third, offer all your actions as adoration to the divine. That is why I insist on every seeker taking 1 year off. See, the moment seeking opens in you, the moment inspiration happens in you, that first 1 year is very important year. Please understand. First 1 year of your marriage is very important because you set a trend. How your life is going to be, your patterns are going to be, how you are going to respond to each other, what is your boundary, what is his boundary, everything will be defined in the 1 year. The first year is very important in marriage, in any relationship. Same way, first year is very important when you are born, because that first year is going to decide whether you are going to live or not. Even for the house, the first year is very important. That first year only going to decide whether the house is going to stand or not, because it is going to face the seasons, all 4 seasons only in the first year. If seeking opens in you, you are feeling something new happening in your life, if you are excited about spiritual seeking, take that 1 year off. How you are going to create relationship with your seeking is going to be decided in that 1 year. Whether you are going to ripe and get enlightened or your seeking is going to be killed will be decided in the first 1 year. The first 1 year, the actions you perform based on the seeking, the amount of seeking you allow to penetrate into your actions, that is going to decide whether you are going to evolve and get enlightened or your seeking is just going to die down. It is going to be just one more breeze you experienced for few months. That 1 year, if you reach the depth of spiritual experience, even by struggle, it's okay. But if you withstood the spiritual experience, and I call this with a new word, spiritual cultural shock. Every individual who comes inside the ashram and stays for more than a week goes through that spiritual cultural shock, because it is completely new culture. What you call as love will not be love. This is the place where the pure love of Kailash flows, where everybody loves your possibility, your being. Fight between two persons happens when the possibility is not loved, When the possibility is loved, never there will be fight. There will be a lot of screaming. There will be a lot of shouting, but there will not be fighting. Screaming and shouting does not constitute fighting. Understand? Fighting constitutes ideological difference to the core. Ideological difference to the core is a basic ingredient for fight. So what you call as fight outside, you will see as if it is happening, it will not be happening. Same way, what you call as love outside, so what you call as love will not be love here. What you call as fight will not be a fight here. What you call as fear will not be fear here. What you call as greed will not be a greed here. It is Kailash. Only thing you need is somehow hang on. Don't get down from the train, that's all. Whether you are in first class or AC compartment or second class or third class bathroom. And I even have a fourth class just hanging the train bar. I have all 4 classes. But somehow hang on. That's all. You will reach. And all 4 of you will reach the goal. The fellow was in AC coach. For him, the travel itself was little tasty. That's all. Otherwise, the goal is same for all of you. All 4 of you will reach the goal. No doubt. Nothing else. Whether you are in AC coach, first class or second class or third class bathroom or fourth class hanging. Hang on. That's it.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. a spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment.
आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकं वन्दे शान्तमयं बन्धं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दगन्धसञ्चारं सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं वन्दे ज्ञानालयं नाथं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्.
Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bangalore 562109. Contact 097422033111. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.